Welcome to the next lesson, tracking the data to inform decisions. And in this lesson, we're going to cover why it's critical to track the data, important data points to track and why, and setting up your ASM product performance tracker. But before we get into that, one of my favorite quotes, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And I can't stress enough that this could not be more true when it comes to running your business on Amazon and being successful. There are so many moving parts to being successful on Amazon. And when it comes to generating traffic, improving conversion, and getting sales, the smallest tweak can have a large impact. And without monitoring and tracking those changes daily, and without measuring and tracking the impact of your changes, you never know what's working and what's not. And as we know, we want to focus on the 20% of effort that produces 80% of the results. But if we don't know what 20% of the effort is that's producing 80% of the results, we will never be able to scale and drive success within our business. When it comes to tracking the data, tracking the performance of your products daily is a critical activity in the success of your business. Often overlooked, it becomes your headquarters for all decisions. It provides peace of mind and control because you know at any moment in time exactly where your product is at, and if there's ever an issue, you can identify exactly what needs to be done. In a single view, you can work out the source of any given situation and decide on what action needs to be taken. You have clarity on the impact of your actions, which speeds up your learning curve and experience and results. Ultimately, you get better results. This is one of the most important activities within the entire program. And without it, you never have the data or the clarity you need to make informed decisions on the actions you need to take at any given moment in time. So we have developed a tool for you to use, and that is the ASM Product Performance Tracker. To get this, you need to go to amazingsellingmachine.com/tracker, which will open a Google Sheet, and then click File, Make a Copy, and save a copy to your Google Drive. So let's do that now. Okay, so I've loaded up the Product Performance Tracker. The first thing I need to do is go File, Make a Copy, and then I'm going to add my brand name to the start of the file name, and click OK to create a copy on my own Google Drive. I can then close out the template while that's loading, as this is my copy that I'm going to use for my brand. And then the first thing I need to do is come down to the tab at the bottom that says Product Template, click the arrow, and click Duplicate. We don't want to use the first sheet, as when we come to add new products to our range, we always want to have that template available to create a copy of. I'm then going to double click where it says Copy of Product Template and enter a short name for my first product. You will notice there are different colours on the sheet, and you only need to fill out the cells in orange, starting with the start date. So the start date is the first day of your launch and the first day of life for your product on Amazon. You'll notice the dates automatically update, and the corresponding day that date falls on will automatically update within the Google Sheet. We then have the product life day, which is an increasing number just to give us indication of how many days that product has been live on Amazon. If I scroll right over to the right hand side, you'll then see this box that says Setup. We need to enter our costs of goods sold per unit, or our product cost per unit, shipping costs including our shipping cost to Amazon, and divide that by the number of units shipped to get your cost per unit, our FBA fee, which you can get from the FBA fee calculator, or when you've got a few orders through, you can see the FBA fee on your order item details within Amazon Seller Central. That will give us our subtotal before Amazon's referral fee. Now, Amazon's referral fee is typically 15%. If for any reason you're in a category where it's different, you can just update that here. And then it's calculating our estimated break-even price to be $10. So for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to update this to yesterday's date. I then need to start by entering the price for yesterday's date, which is the current price I have listed on Amazon, $11.97. I was at 23 reviews yesterday. Looks like I've gained a review in the last 24 hours. I was at 23 reviews. And to get my total units sold, the fastest way of doing this is to log into Amazon Seller Central, and on the right hand side where it says Sales Summary, click View More of your sales statistics. You can then use the Date field and select Custom to enter the target date you want to look at the data for, and click Apply. So you can see yesterday, this product sold 18 units. An important note here is that Amazon Seller Central is generally 24 to 48 hours behind the current moment in time, meaning you will most likely be working 24 hours retrospectively on your data. Now, the first data point that takes a bit more work to calculate is our PPC sales, which means of our total units sold, how many sales came as a result of our PPC advertising campaigns. So we know that we sold 18 units, but to determine how many PPC sales we got, we need to use Amazon's advertising reporting to get that number. To do that, we're going to come into Seller Central and go to Reports, Advertising Reports, and the report type we're looking for is Advertising Product. The report period we're looking for is Customized, and then select that target date that we're looking to get that data for. So in this instance, the 26th of November. And we want to set the data unit to daily. And click Apply. From here, click Create Report. And as you can see, Amazon has then just generated that report for us. So if we click Download on File, it will download an Excel file. If I zoom in a little bit, right now it's very easy to get this data as I only have one SKU within my account. When you have multiple SKUs or multiple ASINs, you need to filter by ASIN to ensure that you're looking for the correct product. But in this instance, I only have the one, and the data I'm looking for is in column Q, 7-day total units, not orders. So you can see yesterday I had a total of 4 units sold as a result of my PPC advertising. So coming back to my sheet, I had 18 total units. I had 4 units sold as a result of advertising. Next data point we're looking to get is the total number of promotion codes distributed. As you can see, this column is in grey, so this isn't one that we need to edit. However, moving forward, you can see the next block is all about promotion codes. So you've got promotion code value 1, number distributed, number redeemed. Promotion code value 2, number distributed, number redeemed. And promotion code value 3, number distributed, number redeemed. As we learnt earlier in the training, we use a Wheel of Fortune type ManyChat campaign to randomize the delivery and distribution of our coupon codes within ManyChat. We know that we set up 70%, 60%, and 50% promotion codes to distribute via ManyChat. To get the exact number we distributed on that day, the easiest way to do this is to go into ManyChat settings, go to your custom fields, and track the coupon ID bot fields on a daily basis. So as you can see, coupon ID 50 is still at 1, coupon ID 60 is still at 1, but coupon ID 70 is at 3. We know that that started with 1, which means 3 codes have been distributed between yesterday and today. So the number distributed is 3, and then we need to get the number redeemed. So of the 3 codes that were distributed for 70% off, how many of those 3 codes have been used? Now remember, we used an internal tracking ID for our codes. When those tracking IDs show up in a transaction, your Managed by Stats account will show them within a report. So you come to Managed by Stats, go to Customers, and go to Promo Code Stats. For the date range, you can set to this week. And as you can see, those codes have not been used as they're not showing in my list. If they had been used, they would show up something like this. So here's a code that I set up previously, Stay Sharp Anti-Aging Cream 70% off. You can see it's been used once, and it was used first on the 2nd of November. And the last time it was used was the 2nd of November, as it was only used once on that day. If I then click Show, it will show me every single time that code has been used, and what date and what product that code was against, and even the customer order that used that promotional code. So using this data, in conjunction with tracking the number of codes that have been distributed in that given time period, we can get a good handle on how many codes have been distributed. A good habit to get into is once you're tracking this number, if you open up your Google Sheet that contains your codes, against the corresponding number of codes, just mark an X to say that those codes have been used. So we know that 3 of the codes within 70 have been used and the number is currently sat at 3, as this is the number that bot field within ManyChat is referencing. So we know that it currently is sat at 3 and that those 3 codes have been used. As 50 and 60 are still at 1, we know they haven't been used, so we can leave those codes alone. This is a good way of just keeping track of exactly how many codes have been used since the last time you updated it. It's not 100% accurate, but it's enough for us to measure the impact and performance of our promotional codes. So the number redeemed is 0. The number distributed of 60 was 0, meaning redeemed is 0. And the number distributed of our 50% was 0, meaning redeemed is 0. And now, as you can see, column H, promotion codes distributed, has automatically totaled the total number of distributed codes. And the sheet has calculated that we had 14 organic sales. And the sheet has calculated that we had a total of 14 organic sales, which is our total units sold minus our 4 PPC sales. If I move on to column S, total coupon codes redeemed is 0, as none of the coupons were actually used within any orders, making our redemption percentage 0%. This is something we want to keep an eye on very closely to understand how engaged our subscriber list is within ManyChat. Typically, this will be 30 or 40%, up to 50 or 60% in more engaged markets, and as you build a relationship with your list over time, you should see this percentage increasing. More importantly, once you have a good idea of what your redemption percentage is, that tells you exactly how many codes you need to give out on a daily basis to hit your target daily sales. So let's say that 50% of all the codes that are being distributed are being redeemed. That means I need to give out twice as many codes as I'm targeting for promotional orders. So let's say I'm targeting 10 promotional code orders a day, and historically this was 50%. I would need to aim to give out 20 promotional codes a day. Factoring in, not everyone is going to say yes to our offer. So within ManyChat, we then need to look at how many people are saying yes, and let's say 50% of everyone that we broadcast to are saying yes, we need to double that number again. So I would need to message 40 people a day using a broadcast within ManyChat. 50% of them would say yes to taking us up on our offer, and 50% of those people will actually use the code. That is the redemption percentage, and as we track this data, it will give us an accurate view on exactly how many people we need to be broadcasting on a daily basis to hit our target promotional daily sales. The sheet will then automatically calculate, of the total organic sales, how many of them were full price organic sales, removing discount coupons. As no promotional codes were used, all of those 14 were full price organic sales. And as I said earlier, full price organic sales are the most impactful on keyword rank. And then out of our total sales of 18, 78% of them came from organic and 22% of them came from PPC. These are really important metrics as we move forward in optimizing profit within our business, and ones we will be talking about later in the program. My review score. So if I come onto my Amazon listing, hover over the drop down arrow, you'll see my review score is currently at 4.8 out of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and enter 4.8. Now my sessions are the number of people that visited my listing. To get that, I'm going to go to Reports, Business Reports, and go to Detail Page Sales and Traffic. Again, I want to set my target date. So in this instance, I'm working on the 26th of November. And as you can see, there is no session data available, as Amazon has not yet made this data available to us. And this is one of the data points that is 24 to 48 hours behind where we're at. So in this instance, we would leave this cell, and then when we come back tomorrow to update our tracker, we would retrospectively update this data for the 26th. Now, just for the sake of example, I'm going to get a number just to enter into the spreadsheet. And as you can see, the 25th is available, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this data for now. You can see I had 75 sessions to my product listing, so I'm going to enter 75. And my unit session percentage, which is my conversion rate for the listing, is currently at 20%. I then need to enter the total PPC spend for that day. So if I come back into my Amazon Seller Central, go to Advertising, Campaign Manager, you will most likely only have the campaigns that we created within Samurai Seller. However, if you are running other products already within your account, you need to ensure that you filter down the correct campaigns so that you can report accurately against just this product. So I have that done, and I'm going to set the date range as the target date, which was yesterday. And you can see I spent a total of $82.50 on advertising yesterday, which also shows in this spend column here. I didn't spend anything on Facebook ads yesterday as I paused them last week. And then the tool is going to automatically estimate the total sales revenue after promotions and advertising. So what this calculation is doing is taking your total units sold, multiplying it by your sale price for the day, and then deducting any promotion codes redeemed on the product. So let's say someone redeemed one promotion code for 70% off. This is factoring in that 70% reduction on that one unit for that one sale. So as you can see in this instance, for this demonstration data, this is estimating our total sales revenue after promotions and advertising costs to be $215.46. It's then factoring in our product cost and Amazon fees and estimating that our total profit yesterday was minus $20, meaning overall we have a negative gross profit of $20.19 for the 26th of November. Then you can see it's dividing that by the total units sold for the day and calculating the estimated gross profit per unit. So in this example, for every unit sold on the 26th of November, we lost $1.12. And this is normal during launch, and your aim is to get to profit as quickly as possible. We then have some PPC analysis to inform our decisions around optimizing our PPC in the future. Of the total units sold through PPC, we did $47.88 in gross revenue, but because we spent $82.50 and factoring in the product cost, our gross profit overall was minus $74 on our PPC advertising, which is minus $18 per unit sold. And our PPC cost per unit sold of total sales, not just our PPC sales, was $4.58. And possibly one of the most impactful metrics within this sheet is our PPC contribution percentage. This number gives us a lot more confidence in our PPC advertising, and whereas ACOS tells us how profitable our advertising is for the units sold directly as a result of PPC, this number gives us a true, accurate look on the PPC contribution percentage in our overall sales, including our organic sales. So because we did 18 units in total at $11.97 and we spent $82.50 on advertising, the cost of advertising in relation to our total sales revenue was 38.29%. And let's say, for the sake of argument, ignoring these numbers here, that we were working to a 40% margin. In this instance, for that day, we would have actually broken even on our sales or even just moved into a slight amount of profit. Whereas just looking at ACOS, you can see for that day, it was almost 115%. So if we were optimizing our advertising just using this number, we wouldn't have as much confidence in our bidding strategy, therefore taking a conservative approach to advertising. However, because we know of total sales, our real ACOS, or true ACOS as it's sometimes called, was 40%. That gives us the confidence to be a bit more aggressive within our bid strategy and advertising. And we'll get into this in a lot more detail in future videos. I then need to enter the keyword rank for each of my target keywords. So the first is anti-aging face cream for men. The second is men's face cream. Third, anti-aging cream for men. Fourth, men's anti-aging face cream. And fifth, men's face cream. To do that, I'm going to open up Manage by Stats, go to Catapult, Keyword Tracker, and the fastest way to do this is just to copy that search term from the field at the top of the Google Sheet and paste it into the search field. And as you can see, for the 26th, I was in position 25. For men's face cream, I was in position 21. Anti-aging cream for men, position 13. Men's anti-aging face cream. The final column I have here is notes. And as we will learn in future lessons, this is where we want to make notes of any major changes we've made to our product listing or advertising campaign, so we can track the impact of those changes over the next few days. And you will start to see trends within your data, and changes you make here will impact the following day's data. So the end result is something like this. So as you can see, for the product we're launching as a demonstration, you can see this we started on the 24th of October, which was day one of the launch on the Thursday. And looking at my notes here, you can see a member of my team accidentally activated the listing before we were ready to launch, so this product sat live for 4 days before we did anything. We did have a couple of friends order that product during those days, which show up in our organic sales here, but there was no money spent on advertising as the campaigns hadn't yet been turned on. As that product came onto Amazon, instantly picked it up for men's anti-aging face cream, and it was ranked in position 242. With absolutely nothing going on, it moved into position 102 purely based on the strength of the listing and relevancy within Amazon. On Monday, which was the 28th of October, we were still at $9.99. We had 0 reviews, and we sold a total of 7 units, which 2 of them came from our PPC campaign. So as you can see in my notes, Dan, which is myself, I turned on the PPC campaigns and built them using Samurai Seller. We distributed 0 coupon codes, and because we had a total of 7 units with 2 sales coming from PPC, we had 5 total organic sales. And again, because there was no promotional codes used, all of those 5 organic sales were full price organic sales, making our percentage split across organic and PPC 71 and 29. And as there was no reviews, we had no review score. And that day we did 18 sessions. with a 38% conversion rate on the listing or unit session percentage. During launch, especially in the beginning, when asking friends to help out and order our product, we cannot rely on the unit session percentage as being accurate, as those people are going straight to the listing and making a purchase because we've asked them to. Only later on in the launch, when that stops, will we get an accurate view on our unit session percentage and our ability to convert sessions into sales. We spent $40 in advertising and $20 on Facebook ads. So because we sold 7 units in total at $9.99, after advertising of $40 and $20, that made our total sales revenue almost $70, but our gross profit minus $50, which was a minus $7 gross profit per unit. Our gross revenue from advertising, as we sold 2 units from our PPC, was $20, but because we spent $40, and after factoring in product costs and fees, we lost $40 in advertising that day, making our gross profit per unit minus $20. I noticed an error in the calculation. I've just updated the calculation for our column and also updated the headings and the color to make it a lot clearer. So you can see our PPC cost per unit of total sales was $5.77, and our overall marketing contribution or PPC contribution towards total sales, not just our PPC sales, is 57.7%. If we were to look at this in ACOS, that would likely be 200 or 300% in ACOS, but because we're considering total sales and the impact of the advertising budget on total sales, it was a 50% PPC contribution. As soon as we turned on that PPC, you can see that our other target keywords started to index and came from nowhere to position 71, 125, 25 straight away, 46 down from 102, and 43. This was a really good start and a very strong place to index out of the gate. Now I should note, during this time I was traveling China and wasn't working on the launch daily. So as we move through this launch, you'll see that I was a bit slow to move on certain elements and could have executed this a little bit faster. In that first week, you can see that we gained a couple of reviews. So we had 1 review that stuck for 3 or 4 days, and then we went up to 2 reviews. And as that happened, our total units sold started to increase. So we did 7 units the first day, 3, 1, 4. Then we did 15 on the Friday, 6 on the Saturday, and 13 on the Sunday. We did a small test of distributing some coupon codes and distributed 3 70% off coupon codes, and only 1 of them was redeemed. This was on the 2nd of November. And if we come into Manage by Stats and go to Customers, Promotion Code Stats, you can see there is that promotion code. It was only used once, and the first time it was used was November 2nd, and the last date it was used November 2nd, meaning it was only used once on November 2nd. And that correlates with our data here. So of the total units sold, which was 6, 3 of them came from PPC, meaning the remaining 3 were from organic, but because 1 of them was a promotional code sale, full price organic sales was actually only 2 orders. And as we distributed 3 codes but only 1 was used, we had a 33% redemption rate. And on this day, 33% of our sales came from organic and 50% came from PPC. Our review score at that time was 5, and we generated 14 sessions in total, so a very low traffic day, and we had a 42% conversion rate. Again, because we're in launch, this will jump all over the place. We spent $17 in advertising, so we didn't spend a lot on PPC that day, and another $20 on Facebook ad spend. So we generated a total of $52 in revenue, but we lost $36, which was $6 per unit. We generated $30 in revenue from our PPC sales, but we lost $18 overall, which was a loss of $6 per unit. And our PPC cost per unit, looking at total sales, was $2.97 per unit, or a PPC contribution of just under 30%. As we look at our rank, very quickly we started to climb the ranks from position 71 for anti-aging face cream for men, which was our main keyword, into position 19. Men's face cream into position 22 from 125. Anti-aging cream for men into position 13, which is page 1, from position 25. Men's anti-aging face cream, position 29 from position 46 at the start of that week. And finally, men face cream into position 22 from position 43. On the Friday, we didn't distribute any coupons, as we intended to then start distributing promotional codes on the following Monday. But as we came into the data, we could see that the product was ranking very well already, purely on the effort of the PPC. So I made the decision, as the person in control of the launch, that we didn't need to distribute any promotional codes, as this product was going to rank with PPC alone. And this is where it's important to work smart and not hard, and focus your effort on the 20% that is producing 80% of the results. So in this specific launch, there was no need for us to distribute any level of promotional codes because the PPC was ranking this product alone, making this launch a lot more efficient. So as we come down, we're still at $9.99, and we've continued to stick at $9.99 that week. We started to move into double figures in total units sold, so 21, 15, 8, 18, 14, 29, and we finished the week on 29 and 28 sales. We distributed 0 promotional codes as we didn't need to because PPC was doing really well, which means we had a total of 26 full price organic sales that day because 3 of them came from PPC sales. Our organic sales were 90% of our sales, with PPC being 10%. We did receive a 2-star review that day, so it dropped our review rating to 4.8. Our sessions was 43. So as you can see, working with PPC and increasing our organic rank position, we start to increase our sessions to the listing. Our unit session percentage that day was 65%. Again, an anomaly because we're in launch. And at this moment in time, a few of our friends we'd asked to order the products were still continuing to do so. So that was skewing our conversion rate. We spent $30 on advertising, and at this point we were aggressively scaling our ManyChat subscriber list, and we doubled down on the budget on Facebook. So overall sales revenue for that day was $289, but our gross profit, we lost $30 that day, and we lost $1 per unit sold. The PPC cost per unit looking at total sales was $1 per unit, with a total PPC contribution of 10%. Now, as we move towards optimizing for profit, this is actually the percentage that we target within our advertising campaigns, and we'll get into that in more detail. Our keyword rank was fluctuating a little bit, so you can see the day before, our main keyword was in position 3, but then for some reason, we dropped down to position 17 that day, but it came back the next day. And this is totally normal. Sometimes it's just the accuracy of the tracking tools because they're using different IP addresses to check rank, and others, it's Amazon just testing different positions within the search results to see how it affects sales. This is all part of that honeymoon period, which is the first few weeks when launching a product, as there is no sales history on that product. So at this moment in time, 4 of our 5 target keywords were starting to rank very well, and I was just waiting for men's face cream to catch up. So we decided to stick at the $9.99 price. Admittedly, on reflection, we could have moved this price up a couple of dollars very easily, and I doubt it would have had much impact on our sales and rank, and it would have had a positive impact on our profit. But we decided to leave it at $9.99, and you can see we left it there right until we had achieved page 1 above the fold rank for all of our 5 terms. And within a couple of weeks, and within just over 2 weeks, using PPC mainly, and then getting full price purchases from friends, we ranked this product in the top 3 positions for 4 of our 5 main terms and in the top 10 positions for that 5th term. At this point, we left it a couple of days to ensure that those rankings stuck and just get a handle on the total daily sales. And as you can see, the total units sold stayed pretty consistent, 27 and 26, and then we decided to move the price up above $10 to $10.87. On that Friday, from moving the price up, we actually did 39 sales, more than 10 additional sales that day, and the highest sales day we'd had yet during this product's life, of which only 5 came from PPC. We distributed 0 promotional codes, which means 87% of all those orders were from organic sales and 13% were from PPC sales. We were still at 4.8, and we generated 63 sessions to our listing. We did spend $81 on advertising that day, which means our click-through rates were probably lower. Facebook ad spend, we dropped it back down to $20, as we no longer had an immediate use for our ManyChat subscribers, but wanted to continue to grow that list as this is a brand new brand, so we will be using those for launching products in the future. And our estimated total sales revenue that day, because we did a lot more units at a higher price, was $423. Overall, we lost $12 that day, which, as you can see, looking at the trends, we're starting to move towards profit within our daily sales, and we only lost 30 cents per unit sold. I moved into position 1 for my main keyword, even though I increased my price, and my other 4 keywords held. You will notice that I've added in these total and average rows into my sheet that you will not see within your template. If you have any level of experience with Google Sheets, this is very easy to do. You just come down and click the Sunday, insert row below, and then use formulas to calculate the total of each column you need. This isn't a requirement and not something you need to do, as you can simply click and highlight a target data set, and then down the bottom, By clicking the drop down, you can see an average of 78% there, or a total. So if I want to have a look at my total revenue for that week from PPC, I would click the Monday, drag down to the Sunday, and you can see the total revenue is 169.83, which is just totaled in that row there. If you've got any friends that are good with Excel, you can have them help you with this. Okay, so coming down, let's finish off the story for this product. So we got into position 1, we're at 1087, and then coming into the next week, we did 29.35, 29.35. So again, we're doing a higher average across these days than we were doing previously. So an average of sort of 32 units a day. And after 3 days of the price being at 1087, keyword rank was sticking. We decided to move the price up to 1197. At 1197, we did 29 sales, 21 of which were organic because 8 of them were from PPC. A nice healthy split of 72% from organic and 28% from PPC. 80 sessions that day. Our conversion rate or unit session percentage on the listing was 36%, and we spent almost $100 on Amazon PPC, with $0 being spent on Facebook ads. We generated $347 in revenue after promotions and advertising, and we actually broke even that day. As you can see, the day before, we actually moved into gross profit, and these numbers are estimated. They're not 100% accurate, but they're a good guide. We actually moved into $36 of profit that day, with $1 in profit being made per unit. If I come along to my PPC contribution, I can see that day my PPC contribution was 28%, but my rank started to slip. Now, the reason my rank started to slip is we actually ran out of inventory. So we didn't expect this product to do as well as it did and sell as quickly as it did at the price we launched at. And because it did, we ran out of stock a lot faster than we thought we would. And therefore, we ended up being out of stock for a couple of days. We managed to work with our supplier to get more stock in very quickly. Because this product's manufactured in the USA, we have a very short lead time. So we were able to get it back in stock. But then now, because we're coming up to Black Friday, it's taking Amazon longer to process our inventory. And if you look at the product on Amazon, you can see that it currently says in stock on December 3rd, even though if I come to inventory, manage inventory, I have 106 sat in reserve, but 0 available. So 106 have arrived at Amazon and are ready to sell, but because it's a very busy time for Amazon, it's taking them a lot longer to process that inventory and make them available for sale. That doesn't mean that shoppers can't buy our product, because they can, but the conversion rate will be a lot lower as Amazon shoppers expect instant gratification, meaning they want it now or the next day and are not prepared to wait a week for that product to come into stock and be delivered to them. And as you can see, that is starting to have quite a serious effect on our rank as conversion is dropping, and more importantly, the number of units sold is dropping. From an average of say 30 a day, 32 a day, we did 0, obviously because we're out of stock, 5 when we quickly got back in stock, but because the product is not currently available for Prime, our unit session percentage has dropped, meaning our conversion rate has dropped, and therefore we're selling less units. And as a result, that is having a negative impact on our rank, and we're starting to lose rank for our target keywords because we're losing sales velocity and not meeting the tide where it's at. As soon as we can get this inventory back in stock and get these units back into available, we will have to consider reducing the price and running some promotional codes to our ManyChat subscriber list to regain sales velocity and regain this rank and pick up the launch with the momentum we had earlier in the week. So as you can see, tracking your data daily gives you complete clarity on exactly what's going on and how well you're performing and where you're currently at in your launch. Without this, it can be very overwhelming and you can feel completely lost in what to do and what's happening. If there's one thing you do religiously within your business, doing this will give you a sense of control and calm and ultimately make you a lot more successful in your efforts. So in this lesson we covered, tracking product performance data daily is a critical task and sits at the center of all decisions and will make you more successful. Important metrics to track and why, and setting up your ASM product performance tracker. In the next lesson, you'll discover optimizing PPC during launch, but right now, go ahead and set up your ASM product performance tracker. I'll see you in the next lesson.